Night connecting the dots, John Rubbo. Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, connecting the dots, Councilman John Rubbo of the 4th District. Let's talk about the 4th District and the councilman there who had mayoral hopes. Is he going to run for mayor? Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, I want to continue connecting the dots, and I want to discuss John Rubbo. Excuse me, there, and how he's all connected, right, to some of the things that I've been talking about, specifically with Empire Strategic Planning and the developers here in the city of Yonkers. Also, I want to talk a little bit about Empire Casino, or MGM Casino, as they should be getting their full gaming license. And what does that mean for District 4 and the Southeast Side and the city of Yonkers as a whole? So I want to play a video here also. And the Yonkers Tribune, the Hezi Aris operated, owned news blog, has not put anything about the lawsuit for the term limit lawsuit. I wonder why. People have alleged that Yonkers Tribune is actually controlled by a gentleman by the name of Zahi Jeris. And they're saying that it's not on there because it's controlled by Zahi Jeris, and they don't want anyone seeing that as much as possible, though it's been all over the news, right? News 12 and other news outlets. I've been speaking about it here myself. So I don't know if that's going to work, really, but it's not on there. Very surprising. However, there's an article about me on there. I mean, I don't think I'm as important as the lawsuit that's been filed recently by Michael Sussman, famous civil rights attorney who was involved in the desegregation case of the late 80s or 80s and here in the city of Yonkers. Nothing about that, but there's an article about me, right? So, I don't know. I would like to think that I am more important, but I know I am not. It's really a matter of, this is a page that's used to, put out false narratives there and make people think what they want them to think, right? So they want you to think negatively of me, and they don't want you really knowing anything about that lawsuit, the term limit stuff, right? But anyway, folks, I want to talk about really quick, the casino. They're apply for full gaming. That means they're going to get tables and all that. MGM bought out the Empire Casino for a lot of money, and I'll talk about that in a second, but I want to play this clip really quick here from News 12 in regards to that.
The gambling sector could soon start to take shape any day now. The State Gaming Commission is expected to formally release applications for 3 full-scale gaming licenses downstate. It's a decision that could have a dramatic impact on the economy of New York's 3rd largest city, should MGM receive one of those coveted licenses for the Empire City Casino. Tonight, General Manager Ed Domingo, in his first sit-down interview, talks about what's at stake and what he's got planned for the Yonkers landmark. Here's Tara Rosenblum with the exclusive story.
Ed Domingo has kept most of the details behind his goals for a major casino expansion close to the vest for the past several years. That is until now. Today, we got a much more in-depth look at his plans, some reveals, and his hopes for the future of this more than century-old Yonkers landmark. And yes, he even cleared out the casino floor for our conversation.
It takes an act of God in the Gaming Commission to be able to clear the floor and get filming out here, but we're happy to do it.
Yeah, I see a lot of security surrounding us right now.
Absolutely.
From traffic and crime concerns to which big-name entertainers could soon be performing in the City of Hills, we covered a wide range of topics during our hour-long sit-down interview. The Empire City Casino is rumored to be one of the leading contenders in the high-stakes competition that already has interest from the world's most powerful casino operators. You know the names: Caesars, Wynn, the Hard Rock. They're all expected to propose new casino sites across New City. But Empire City's unique advantage because, as you can see, they're already operating thousands of slot machines. So this would be an expansion as opposed to a project that has to be built from the ground up. And that speed to market factor could prove pivotal. Now to the review.
No sound. Thank you. I had this squeaky chair and it keeps squeaking. And how's the internet, by the way? I hope the internet's kind of been acting funny, but I'm trying to avoid the squeaky chair. But anyway, I was saying that the Empire Casino is one of, 3 that are getting, looking to get a full gaming license. That means live dealers, blackjacks, poker or whatever else, roulette tables. I don't really know. I don't really go gamble. But that's going to bring in a lot more people into District 4, primarily where John Rubbo currently represents. So what does that mean for the people there? Are they excited to have this, MGM Grand now purchasing the Empire City Casino? They're planning to put a hotel there. Now with full gaming, that means that they can do these concerts, big performances. So are people really excited? And what does that mean in terms of money? How much money will the city of Yonkers be receiving? Will it be still that measly $20 million? And while that seems like a lot to most people, it's really not. And it's not a lot compared to how much money this casino has been raking in and will rake in now that, once they get the full gaming license, right? Hezi probably isn't writing about the lawsuit because Sussman is currently defending him against John Mueller and Keith Olsen. If he is, why wouldn't he write about it, right? Aren't they in the same side? Right. Anyway, the full gaming license will see an increased amount of money go to Yonkers, or will it see an increased amount of money go to Yonkers? Currently, where it stands, Yonkers has been receiving $20 million from Empire City Casino. But is that enough? I don't think so. I don't think so. Because ever since they started giving us that money, representatives, the mayor, and other individuals have gone up to Albany time and time again, begging for more money from the state, and complaining that the state is not giving enough money to the city of Yonkers for education. But we have this casino here that rakes in a lot of money, right? And what role does Nick Spano's Empire Strategic Planning have with the MGM Casino? And how is it tied to John Rubbo? According to the Yonkers Ledger, the full gaming license will add about 2,500 jobs, but will they be from Yonkers? You're right. Where will they come from? There will be increased traffic and crowds over the southeast side. People coming from all over to gamble, right? Will crime be increased? That's a concern now. I heard someone comment about crime happening because of the casino, people leaving out with their winnings, somebody waiting for them in the parking lot. And now you have this full gaming. So there's going to be a lot more people, a lot more money being spent. And some people are going to be winning big. And so will crime increase? And who will handle that? Will it be Yonkers police? Will it be the state police? Will MGM have their own internal police force, which I hear Empire kind of has their own inside security, armed security, and then the state police are supposed to come and pick up anyone who's been arrested or for whatever reason. However, if there's an emergency and there's a need for police to respond right away, guess who's going to be there? Yonkers police, right? The second precinct is literally right across the Central Avenue there, so that causes, an increased use on our first responders, more money. Who will pay for that, right? Will MGM again give more money to the city of Yonkers. MGM Resort acquired Empire City Casino for $850 million. The casino was then sold to MGM Growth Properties and later acquired by VICI Properties, the real estate investment trust of Caesar Entertainment. Full scale means live dealers at tables, of course, the slot machines that they already have, retail sports betting, and live concerts. In 2021-22, the casino generated gross gaming revenue of $624.6 million, with more than 50% of that revenue going towards supporting public education through New York State taxes. But why does it seem like we still don't get any money? Why is it that our elected officials are still going up to Albany time and time again, begging for money, demanding more money? Our schools have not really improved much, right? Little improvements that we're supposed to be all excited about, but really these kids deserve so much more, right? So why is Yonkers, again, still crying broke? And here's an example I want to show you. It's a revenue that they've been generating here. And I just kind of going through stuff. And you can see this here in April 22, this is 22, 23, April 22, the credits played, how much money was spent, $818,400,554, right? But so far to date, this is going up to November, they've generated $6,305,034,606. And out of that, education contribution was $206,278,884. But only $206 million out of $6.3 billion? That doesn't seem like that's fair to me. I mean, that's not a lot of money. Who negotiated this? And again, does this have something to do with Nick Spano's Empire Strategic Planning? Because MGM Grand and even the casino here are clients of ESP. So do they work it out? Listen, keep our pay low, we'll hire you, we'll pay you, a consultant fee if you can make sure that our payout to education isn't that much, right? Because that doesn't seem like it's a fair deal there. And I'll post that up in case anyone wants to go through that, because they have a lot more here information if you're very interested in it. It has a 2021. They did $9.5 billion. And out of that, $315,425,581 went to education. And again, remember, that's not just for Yonkers. That is the entire state of New York, right? So that's a lot of money. So who's negotiating this? And the next mayor, coming in, right? Because if it's not Spano, we'll have to really get in there and say, hey, MGM, we want some money. We want a percentage, not a set number. We want a percentage based on your revenues, right? So if their revenues increase, then the payout to Yonkers also increases rather than stay capped at $20 million. Because again, we have to account for, right, increasing the cost of goods and services, inflation. So I just wanted to mention that really quick because that's important. That's going to bring a lot of traffic. That's going to bring a lot more people to Yonkers. That's going to probably increase crime, I would imagine. The roads are going to be, even more worn out. It's just going to put a big, a bigger burden. So how, much are we going to receive? Is it going to be worth it to the city of Yonkers? Right. And so what are we going to be getting in regards to, in exchange, I should say, for this? So John Rubbo, again, the councilman of the 4th district that represent that area, the southeast side. Look at that beautiful smile. Is it? John Rubbo ran for first time in 2009 unsuccessfully. He ran again 5 years ago in 2017 for District 4, which is the southeast part of Yonkers. It covers the McLean Corridor, some of Yonkers Avenue. Rubbo is a Yonkers native, raised in Yonkers, but attended Catholic school, not Yonkers public schools, right? So, he doesn't care about the schools. And he went to high school in New Rochelle, again, another private school there. It's called Selene. So I forgot what it was, the name of it. I got it there in a video. He got his start in government with the Amacone administration, and he's managed to remain in, in government since then. I usually hear that a lot of times guys that are with the past administration will get fired by the incoming administration, but he managed to, keep himself in government. And that's probably because John, in my opinion, is probably willing to do whatever right? John's like that type of weasel guy. Look at that weasel smile, right? That's just my opinion. You know, before becoming a councilman, he, along with 2 partners, opened up the Yonkers Brewing Company, located in the old trolley barn, currently owned by AMS Acquisitions, right? He has another company also, though, that he doesn't seem to talk a lot about. And I'm not sure why he doesn't mention this company, but I spoke about it on this podcast because it was told to me by a reliable source, right? And his company's called A Perfect Solution, John Rubbo Inc. So it's not just the Yonkers Brewing Company. He also has A Perfect Solution, John Rubbo Inc., another company. And what is A Perfect Solution? It's a credit card processing company. And for some reason, again, he never mentions it. Why? Right? In fact, I found out about it via an interesting source who mentioned that I should look into it, and they asked who were his clients. And I said, I don't know. They were not asking me really like that, but I said, I don't know. And so they responded and said, AMS. I said, AMS. So I looked into the company. It's a credit card processing company. And according to this interesting source, AMS is one of the clients. Now, what that mean exactly? What does it mean, right? What did someone want me to look into? And as I, kind of messaged with this person, back and forth, he started to, this person started to talk about campaign finance laws, and that this company was allegedly, by this source is alleged, is a way for John Rubbo to bypass campaign finance laws, right? But who would want me to focus on John Rubbo and want me to expose him? The person alleged that John Rubbo used the company as a way to bypass campaign finance laws. Now, what does that mean? If you're not sure about the candidates are limited to a certain amount of money that they can receive from a single person or company, right? It's a limit of the contribution they can accept. However, the person alleged that John Rubbo uses this company to receive payments from individuals without reporting it on his campaign contributions form or whatever it is. So when you go and look it up, it's not there. And also, that person could, whoever's contributing could give him more than what's allowed by law, which I believe is like $2,000. But it depends on the person, the company. And so you can find that also at the Westchester County Board of Elections page. So as I mentioned, AMS Acquisition is his landlord at the trolley barn. They have contributed to John's campaigns in amounts that exceed the legal limit. And they have done so by donating as AMS Acquisitions and as AMS, just AMS, and also by the individual owners, Michael Mitnick and the other one. Now, is that legal? Is that legal? And here's a campaign contribution. This is, again, from Campaign Finance Systems that you can look up. In 2021, AMS 1 LLC, right? They have AMS Acquisitions. They have AMS 1 LLC, $2,000. John Rubbo is the chair of the real estate committee. So this is what's an issue here. This is something many have questioned, if it is ethical, because he is engaged in business with AMS. Big time developers here spending billions of dollars. However, the now defunct Yonkers Board of Ethics in 2018 or 19, I believe, I'm not sure the exact year, but they determined that there was no conflicts of interest, as him being the chair of the real estate committee. But AMS, big time developers, are his landlord. Now, is there any potential for quid pro quo, like the Mike Cater whole situation? There very well could be. And so why hasn't Liam McLaughlin, his homeboy, because John and Liam are homeboys, why hasn't he asked for his rent receipts? I mean, there's a lot there that you can really dig up, quite possibly, if there is, right? So they need to look into that, but they haven't. And I'll tell you why in a minute. This is concerning, however, and it presents an opportunity for conflict of interest. The fact that he sits as the real estate chair, the chair of the real estate committee, his landlord is AMS Acquisitions. They're buying up everything or have bought up everything, Chicken Island. They're doing a whole big project on North Broadway. They're doing a big project on Buena Vista, the Teutonia. And again, they own the trolley barn. They own 86 Main Street right across from the trolley barn. So is that a conflict of interest? And what's interesting about the Board of Ethics, the Yonkers Board of Ethics, and I'll get to that in a minute, right? So let's connect some dots. The Board of Ethics had a man named Dennis Gallego as the secretary. And let's look at that. Well, really quick, let me show you some more contributions. Andrew Schulner, $10,000. This is actually an expense that John's committee had, the committee to elect John Rubbo. This is the handwriting expert that was paid in the court case with the masseuse, the former employee of John Rubbo and the freelance masseuse who brought Carlos Burgos to court to question his petitions. Well, they wanted to compare, I guess, signatures. So they hired a signature handwriting expert. The campaign to elect John Rubbo did, and they paid $10,000. So although his ex-employee was the one that was questioning the signatures, he's the one that went and got Harrods Beach. For whatever reason, the campaign to elect John Rubbo was gracious enough to pay for the handwriting expert to try and help this freelance masseuse's case. But it was no good. They failed anyway. So that was a waste of money there. And that's the expense there. That's very important. Here are some contributions from Martin Ginsburg. Martin Ginsburg Realty, $1,000, $1,000. And these are developers. They're the ones that are involved in the Ludlow project over there. You know, the TOD, Transit-Oriented District, the one that is in the Mike Cater lawsuit. And we're going to tie all that. Mike Cater lawsuit. We'll get back to that in a second, folks. Michael Sabatino donated. Michael Sabatino, you're making $120,000, man. Only $100. Don't be so cheap, man. See, and that's crazy because I donated more to you guys than $100, man. Y'all treated me way worse than y'all treat Michael Sabatino, that's for sure. Again, Martin, these are the same one, Martin Ginsburg. I already showed you those. Now let's get back to the Board of Ethics, the Yonkers Board of Ethics. So why is this important? Again, they allowed for John Rubbo to sit as the chair of the real estate committee, stating that nothing was unethical or there were no conflicts of interest that would be presented there, even if he was sitting on as the chair during an AMS, you know, whatever they would go there for. Well, the secretary of the Board of Ethics that actually is no longer around, although they did tell someone they were, and they even said that they were going to have a meeting. And when that day come, they said the meeting was canceled. That's because they're no longer around. The secretary is Dennis Gallego. Remember that. That's important. He is the secretary of the Board of Ethics, the same Board of Ethics that allowed John Rubbo to sit on the real estate committee as the chair. Moving forward. This is a lawsuit from Mike Cater and friends of Mike Cater against Hezi Aris, Yonkers Tribune, though they spelled it wrong here, Hezi Media, and Roseanne Gallego. I think I'm saying that name wrong, but I'm sorry. Gallego, Committee for a Better Yonkers. Wait a minute. Same last name as this guy, Dennis. That's because they're married. I believe husband and wife. Or maybe brother and sister. I don't know. They're related. They're married. I believe they're married, actually. What is she doing in this lawsuit of Mike Cater's? And why is she named alongside as for the Committee of Better Yonkers or as a representative of the Committee for a Better Yonkers? And what is the Committee for a Better Yonkers? Roseanne Gallego here, Committee for a Better Yonkers. File her name. She filed for it. Says it right here. The Committee for a Better Yonkers is the committee, the organization that was used to attack Mike Cater and take him out of office. They did all the dirty work. They paid for all the mailers, those robocalls, you know, the text messages to his wife with the adultery or the, you know, the affair allegations and all that stuff. The nasty website that they put up of Mike Cater. I mean, you know, and all they did was attack Mike Cater on their website, a Committee for a Better Yonkers. They supported one candidate, however. That candidate was his opponent, Lakeisha Collins Belling. Interesting. And I want to show you their website, and I have before. Oh, I have to look for it. The Committee for a Better Yonkers, when you go on the website, all they have is negative articles about Mike Cater. and one ad for Lakeisha Collins Bellamy. Excuse me, bear with me. I forgot to get this on for Committee for Better Yonkers. Oh, now I got to sign in? Hold up. They changed it. What happened here? They took it down. Was it taken down because of the lawsuit? Let's see if they have their webpage. Oh, yeah. Website up. No posts. It looks like they lean. I wonder if it's because of the lawsuit. Well, I have it on other podcasts. You can go back and see. You can see what they actually had on this page. Why is that important? Because I'm connecting dots here, folks. Connecting the dots. Roseanne Gallego has a long history in politics. She goes back to days when Nick Spano was a senator. She worked for Nick Spano up in Albany as at the office of the Senate there. She has a close relationship with Nick Spano and is alleged that she is the name on paper, and I'm showing there, the person that filed for the Committee for Better Yonkers. But is it really controlled by Roseanne or by Nick Spano? Remember, Nick Spano owns Empire Strategic Planning. Now remember, AMS is currently a client of Nick Spano and Empire Strategic Planning. And now we come full circle back to Nick Spano and the developers like AMS, the landlords of John Rubbo. They have donated thousands of dollars to John Rubbo. And John Rubbo, if you remember, was against the housing ordinance. In fact, he actually flip-flopped. He was against it in the beginning, but when it came time to vote on it, he changed his mind and voted yes, and it passed. The mayor vetoed it, and then they voted to override the mayor's veto, but he changed his mind back to not supporting the affordable housing at 20%. Tasha Diaz flipped for the first time and voted no to override the mayor's veto, even though she was from the very beginning for it. We knew John wasn't for it, but it was surprising us when he voted yes. But that's because, in my opinion, he knew that the mayor was going to override it. And then he knew that they would come to this vote to override the mayor's veto. I'm sorry, the mayor would veto it. And then they would come to this vote to override that veto. At that point, he would go back to being his true self. And he voted no. Right? So he had flip-flopped twice. And he was against it. Again, whose interest was that for? Who benefited from seeing the affordable housing fail? Well, developers like AMS, who are building luxury developments all over Yonkers. His landlord, clients of Nick Spano's Empire Strategic Planning, which used the Committee for a Better Yonkers to take out Mike Cater because he would never have passed the legislation to extend terms. And he was for affordable housing at 20%. In fact, he authored the new affordable housing proposal that was shot down last year. And so they needed him out. The developers needed him out. So Roseanne Gallego formed this company so developers can donate to it, so they can build their war chest, as they say, their money up. And they used it against Mike Cater, getting him out of there. John Rubbo, sitting as the chair of the real estate committee, moves forward with all kinds of real estate, business here in the city of Yonkers for these developers. So he's in that position for a reason. Why has that not changed? They usually rotate it, right? Every 2 years or something like that. They do a reorganization meeting and people move around for different committees, but he's remained there. The Board of Ethics in Yonkers said it was okay for him to remain there. The secretary is Dennis Gallego. Roseanne Gallego, Committee for a Better Yonkers. Do you see the connection there? And I want to show you in the YIDA also. Again, Empire Strategic Planning is connected to James Kavanaugh. He was listed as a lobbyist and partner of Empire Strategic Planning. He is the president of the YIDA, Yonkers Industrial Development Agency. His wife, Wilson Kimball, was CEO, or maybe is, but I saw that said she was, but she no longer is, but was CEO of Macy Municipal Housing, but now chairs the Zoning Board of Appeals. where they're currently changing all the zoning laws here in the city of Yonkers in order to serve their client, the developers. Clients like AMS, clients like Ginsburg, clients like the Gorin Group or the plant, the power plant, however they name themselves. Developers who have all contributed to the Committee for a Better Yonkers, have contributed to John Rubbo, have contributed to Tasha Diaz and others. Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, our city council president. So who does our Yonkers City Council work for? Who do they represent? Well, they work for Empire Strategic Planning and represent the developers, their clients. I'm going to read this here, Lionsgate, and let's talk about the YIDA and the tax breaks that they give, because John Rubbo was talking about tax breaks and affordable housing developments and how he's excited because developers are finally coming into Yonkers and they're not receiving the tax breaks that they once did. But is that true? What is it costing the city of Yonkers? Affordable housing ordinance, people are being pushed out, businesses are being forced closed, properties are being taken over by large developers using the building department. That's what's happened. Rents are going up.
A year in our education system, and I'm conscious having 2 young children. Education is very important to me. I believe there are things that we could do very much more efficiently through our education system. We spend over $500 million a year, over $500 million a year in our education system, and I'm confident that we can do things more efficiently as we get in there and work with the administration in a very bipartisan way. I'm running as both a Republican and a conservative. I believe in being able to work with the Democratic mayor, as the current council has currently done. And I think together they've been able to create a very great dynamic in working with each other. I also believe that we should follow the city's 4-year strategic plan, because we should not be addressing the budget year to year. We should have a 4-year strategic plan, as has been laid out by the mayor and the administration, and working with the council to identify future sources of income, to identify where our shortfalls will be in the future, and addressing those in advance rather than waiting year to year and hoping that the governor or the state legislature will bail us out as we have in the past. So if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. I believe in really focusing on taxes, education, and of course, smart economic development for the city. The one thing I do want to touch on about smart economic development, we as a council district, we as a community here are very fortunate. People are coming to Yonkers. Gone are the days where you hear about tax breaks, 20 years, 30-year tax breaks, like we needed to give to Stu Leonard's in order to attract Stu Leonard's or Home Depot to Yonkers. We don't need to do that anymore. And the administration is not. They're giving out 5-year deals where over the course of 5 years, developers like up at Boyce Thompson, where they opened Fortina Pizzeria and the Taco Project, where over the course of 5 years, they will hit 100% tax for that property. I believe in a small amount of incentive to be able to bring people here. The cost of doing business is expensive, but in bringing them to Yonkers versus them looking at New Rochelle or Mount Vernon, I believe is very important. And having that little bit of incentive, I believe should exist, but not on the back of our taxpayers, certainly, and not on the back of our education system or our children. But we've been very fortunate in seeing hundreds of millions of dollars not only invested in Yonkers Raceway and Empire City Casino, but also at Cross County Shopping Center, over $400 million invested in that property. So I believe Yonkers is on the right path, and I want to continue that progress that we've seen over the past 8 years as your city council person. So thank you.
Hundreds of millions of dollars invested in the city of Yonkers in development, but what has that really meant for the people of the city of Yonkers? How has that benefited us? How has that benefited our schools? One impact to the schools has been an increase in enrollment. But I believe that they're hoping that a lot more people are going to leave as soon as these, prices, rent continues to go up, right? People are going to get up out of here. But what has that really meant for the people? All this investment in development, is it for the people of Yonkers? John is pro-development. He's pro-luxury development. Of course, his business is right there downtown by the waterfront where all these developments are going up. The Teutonia goes up, the AMS project, that's hundreds of people that will be right there by his business, drinking beer and walking to their apartment. Perfect. We just finished filming a movie. Let's go get some beers. Perfect. John Rubbo is just excited at the potential of earning so much money with his business right there that he will do anything for the developers in AMS. And that scares me. And it should scare you. Rubbo, you seem to have a 4-term plan, not a 4-year plan. Yeah, and when they reach that 4-year full tax payment, well, then they renegotiate another pilot with you or another sweet deal. Good question. I still think Cater blew a great opportunity to publicly battle Westchester's most hated crime family during his last campaign. Succeeding at gaining the moral high ground over the Spanos is simple and straightforward. Failure is difficult and complex. He better find his inner SOB before battling them again. And I agree with you. And I said that he's got to come out hard. He's got to come out aggressive, right? He's got to go on the offense. And so, again, when people say to me, Freddie, people like the show, but sometimes, your approach may be aggressive. Well, you have to be aggressive with these individuals. I mean, look at what they have done to me and other people. Look what they've done to Anthony DiMaggio. Look what they've done to families. The gloves are off, folks. There's a level of frustration inside me and a lot of people that, we just can't hide, or at least I can't. And I apologize for it, right? But he has to go hard. You are absolutely right. And that's why I go hard, because that's the only way that you're going to beat these individuals. They are vicious, they are ruthless, and they don't stop. They know no boundaries. And Mike Cater failed in staying quiet and trying to take the high road, which you necessarily don't have to be, taking the low road, I guess, but at least come out and say, hey, this is nonsense. These individuals are corrupt. This is why they're doing this. They wanted me out. They didn't want me running for mayor. They didn't want me stopping their Ludlow project. They didn't want me pointing out the fact that you guys are using taxpayer money for, these tests or whatever, these, what do you call those secret or whatever, assessments or whatever reports and stuff that they do on the traffic and the environmental stuff, right? The city paid for that, even though the Spanos stand to benefit with their property there, even though the developers stand to make all the money there. Not the city of Yonkers. What are we really getting? More people, more crowds, taller buildings blocking views, more cars on the roads, more crowded schools, higher crime, more people, more likelihood of crime. And I'm hearing that these apartments down there are like, they give you the bait and switch. They reel you in with all these amenities and all this stuff, and little by little, they take them away. Right? They promise 24-hour concierge. Next thing you know, there's no concierge service anymore. They promise you these, high-end luxury or high-tech, workout areas, but they're not the best condition. And people are concerned for their safety down there now. So is it really something that's great? Or are these individuals coming here, building up these developments, getting their money, getting the hell out of Dodge after they sell it off to another management company that sells it off to another management company, which is what's been happening to places like apartments like the Sawyer place or whatever that's been sold to a management company I hear is very cheap, right? So, but they're excited about it. But what does it really mean for the city of Yonkers? And what about local labor? What about the jobs that they promised that have not materialized, folks? Where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? All these projects going up. Where are the jobs? I see nothing but Connecticut plates, Jersey plates maybe. Big truck, dump trucks. I saw like 15 of them, all with Jersey plates. Over by McLean where they were building the school, the new after all these years. But he had to do that. I mean, he had to. He wanted to sneak in a 4th term, right? Got to make it look good. We're building another school. Finally. But we need 3 more. However, only 1 is what we get, and we don't know when that's going to be done. I mean, maybe we should hire some of these developers building the Lionsgate studios because they work quick, and we need these schools right away. Maybe we should have made them pay for it. So I want to pull up some of these contributions that were made to the Committee for a Better Yonkers, because again, as you said, Anthony, they went after Mike Cater. They had robocalls, robo text messages. His wife was receiving, claims of affairs. His neighbors were receiving these, claims of him having affairs with people. They're putting their business out there. I'm not saying it's true, and I'm just saying, they're trying to, make neighbors think that these, they're having all kinds of crazy stuff going on in their marriage. I mean, they really screwed with this guy. Really screwed with this guy. And he should have fought back. I agree. And the Committee for a Better Yonkers was funded by all these individuals. Notice how they're hiding. They took their website down, guys. Committee for a Better Yonkers better with that lawsuit. So let's look at the individuals. I started with the most, the highest contribution was made by Louis Capelli, big time developer. They consider him the Donald Trump of Westchester. $10,000. Nice. To the Committee for a Better Yonkers, Alfred Wiseman, real estate, attorneys, $5,000. Ginsburg, development, Ludlow, project. Yeah, if we're going to take out Mike Cater, I got 5 on it. I got 5 on it. $5,000 to take out Mike Cater. 2021. Whoever gave money in 2021, their money definitely went to take out Mike Cater. Harry Bajakari, I've seen his name around. I'm not sure. I think he owns the Castle Royale. I think he's partners with the Spanos at the Castle Royale. $5,000. Marathon Development, $5,000. Jalaj and Sons, $49.58. What kind of number is that? Why not just give $5,000? But who's that? Well, that's the guy that owns 470 Nepperhan. The building where the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency is located, the fire department training thing is located in. I believe the ATF is there as well. The building that Yonkers once owned but sold, now rents out. Not sure why they did that. Jalaj, they put his son on the zoning board of appeals. The kid is like 20-some years old. He also has a job at the mayor's office making $20-some thousand, but he's a real estate agent. So is he really ever at City Hall? But hey, his dad donates big time money. Let's put him in the zoning board. Let's give him $20,000 a year as a reward. Alan Weissman again, $49.50. Alfred Weissman. Sprainbrook Manor Rehab. Smith Bus Jacobs, $4,000 in 2019. And look what they did. They threw Smith Bus Jacobs under the bus. No pun intended. Smith Bus Jacobs is a law firm that is being alleged was giving Mike Cater free office space in return for a contract with the city. But that's bogus, and they're just holding him down because they don't want him coming back to run for mayor, but he should come back anyway. Doesn't matter, it's bogus. But they donated to the Committee for Better Yonkers. That's why when this whole Mike Cater investigation came out, guess what Smith Bus Jacobs said happened? They wrote a letter to Liam McLaughlin, Smith Bus Jacob. I believe it was Jeffrey Smith or Jeffrey Bus or whatever, Jeff Bus, saying to Liam, hey, Liam, I received calls from city council members stating that this was, first they were apologizing, saying they're sorry, but they had political pressure. So they called the law firm. Jeffrey Bus is saying this to Liam McLaughlin, the inspector general, investigating this whole Mike Cater fiasco with involving Smith Bus Jacobs. And he's saying in a letter I showed on my podcast, I had city council members call me apologizing, saying that they had political pressure on them and that's why they signed that letter to Liam to initiate the investigation. Ain't that something? Why is no one looking into that? Who were the council members? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Local 628, mutual aid, $3,000, countywide transportation. I believe they own that property right across from Joe Cotter and the Spanos property on Fernbrook over there, Ludlow section. That's where they're going to put the whole big, waterfront park that they want us to be all excited about. But why? Why? Why would we be excited about this? Why? Empress, $2,500, of course. Empress has a contract with Nick Spanos, Empire Strategic Planning. They get the contracts with the city, but they don't care about picking up homeless and overdoses and people from low-income areas. That doesn't pay them anything. They'd rather do facility-to-facility transfers. And guess who else donated to the Committee for Better Yonkers? By golly, it's Harris Beach. Harris Beach, $2,400 or $2,500 in 2014 and $2,500 in 2018. Harris Beach, the law firm that defended the freelance masseuse, that took Carlos Burgos to court, the guy who was running against John Rubbo, who almost beat Rubbo. This political no one, no offense, Carlos, political nobody comes out of nowhere and almost beat John Rubbo. I mean, they had to get Harris Beach involved. They had to convince this freelance masseuse to take this to court. And then they paid $10,000 for the handwriting expert and still failed and almost lost it. So what did they do? They clogged up the Working Families line. So Working Family Party, you guys gave this line to a bogus candidate that was there just to clog it up so John Carlos Burgos wouldn't get it to run in the general election. You guys know you did that? Pay attention, guys. Pay attention if you're really down for the cause. The people are the cause, the people. Brotherhood Teamsters Local Union 456, 2018, they gave $2,500, but the Committee for Better Yonkers, ran by, in my opinion, not by Roseanne, but by Nick Spano and company, does not assure that you guys get jobs on these developments. They can. They represent many of them. But you guys still donating. Don't donate no more. Don't do that again. Police Association of Yonkers, $2,500 in 2019, $2,500 in 2015. Smith Bus Jacobs again, 2018, $2,500. MTA PBA, check that out. Yo, Anthony, you see this? MTA PBA, Political Action Committee, $2,400. PKF O'Connor Davies, they do the audits on the city of Yonkers, the internal audits. How are they ever going to write anything that's really, truly transparent? They want the contract with the city. I mean, they want it so bad that they donate to the Committee for Better Yonkers. Why, PKF O'Connor? Why did you donate to the Committee for Better Yonkers, a political action committee? Why? Did you want to see Mike Cater gone too? Main Street Lofts in Yonkers, $22,000. And then the Teutonia, Buena Vista, that's AMS Acquisitions. 2018, they donated $2,000 to the Committee for Better Yonkers, as well as John Rubbo, as well as, Lakeisha Collins-Bellamy, as well as Tasha Diaz. They buying these politicians, folks. They are buying these politicians out. We are no longer safe. Countywide, Empress again, General Fund, Main Street, MTA again, PBA, Police Association of Yonkers, Inc., Martin Ginsburg again, PKF O'Connor again, Teamsters 456 again, Yonkers CLSA 4 times here. Grassy Sprain Pack, so they could put those duplexes over there, Grassy Sprain Road. That's why they did that. Law Office of Pauline Galvin, PBA again, Police Association of Yonkers. Rand Commercial. This is the realty company that's owned by, what's that guy? He was also a politician that was caught up in corruption. Alder. Him and Nick Spano are buddies. Nick Spano has a real estate license. He buys and sells real estate under Rand Realty. Only $500. SEIU. Thomas Meyer, $500. Donated to the Committee for Better Yonkers. Better half. Westchester County Police PBA, that's Lopez. Hector Lopez. Yonkers CLSA, Hector Lopez, also on the Zoning Board of Appeal. Yonkers CLSA, Henry, Dijon Balage, whatever, real estate. By the way, Henry is the realtor selling Duos, that property that I hear, according to sources. That property that John Rubbo spoke out against, and I'll get to that in a minute. Mark Constantine, Harris Beach, again, Mark Constantine. Matt Gallagher, Corporate Counsel for the City of Yonkers. Sam Borelli, Commissioner. DPW, Thomas Tiedemann. Who's this guy? Thomas G. Tiedemann. Who's this guy? Anybody know who this guy is? Thomas T. Tiedemann, whatever. Somebody wrote a comment saying, one of those fake pages, I asked them, how much do you guys get paid to do this nonsense? To constantly be on my page writing this childish nonsense. Many of you are grown adults, or you're all grown adults, and you're doing this. And they go, I do it for free, but Tommy T appreciates it. Who's Tommy Tiedemann? Who's that guy? I'm thinking that's the Tommy T they're talking about. Anthony Landy. Who's that? Tony Landy. That's the deputy mayor. Call him over there by McLean, checking out the school being built, making sure his guys are doing their job. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Landy? You know what I mean, Landy? I know what's up with that, Landy. I ain't gonna go crazy, Landy, because I like you. I do. But you told me that I could do those outlets without a permit, Landy, and I expect you to know better. Okay? Landy, you my guy. Make sure we Gucci, okay? Make sure we Gucci. James Kavanaugh, $250, James, that's it? Got to keep it low, right? Matthew Gallagher again. Impact. Holy smokes. Damn, John. Damn. Shot yourself in the foot there, didn't you? Pow, pow, pow. John Cater's Impact. And they did that to your bro. But you didn't know. You didn't know that was going to go left, right? You thought it was right, but you went left. You thought it was right, but it went left. Rand Realty again. Robert Case. Steve Levy, Deputy Mayor. Wilson Kavanaugh. There we go. The wife of James Kavanaugh, YIDA, Yonkers Industrial Development Agency. So again, these individuals funded the Committee for a Better Yonkers, the political action committee that took out Mike Cater. And John Cater, his brother, contributed $250. What did that pay for exactly? Damn. I know you're kicking yourself in the ass. I get it, John. You know, hindsight is 2020. Hindsight is 2020. But those are the contributions made to the Committee for a Better Yonkers. So why did those individuals fund that committee? So let's go back to Lionsgate. Film companies are famous for chasing government subsidies across the globe. Now a few of them have latched on to generous new federal benefits for investing in lower income U.S. communities. Folks, this is what I'm trying to tell you. And I was talking to some individuals. I've said it's all connected. This is why they're doing this at this rapid rate. There's money being put out there by the government. And instead of building low income or affordable housing, they're funneling it to these luxury developments. They're giving out these tax breaks. So it's all a scam to grab up the money. It's a money grab. It's a money grab. Remember when they put those townhomes throughout Yonkers? How do they look now? How do they look now? The incentives, touted as the biggest effort in a generation to help struggling U.S. communities, are now at the center of a growing debate over whether they may benefit wealthy investors and corporations more than the poor. For their part, backers of the Yonkers effort insist it's industry forces, not just the breaks, that are driving their investment. After all, new streaming services from Netflix to Apple TV Plus have fueled an explosion in demand for studio space and exposed a shortage of locations. So they found it here in Yonkers. Lionsgate isn't the first film and TV company to take advantage of opportunity zones. All that money they're making, and they still want breaks, opportunities, and all that. And this is talking about Lionsgate, $100 million Yonkers deal. This is a tax break. Lionsgate Corp, the studio behind Orange is the New Black, struck a deal Thursday to build a $100 million production facility. $100 million they're spending. And they can't give more to the city. The new development sits inside an opportunity zone, which will enable the company and its partners to reap significant tax breaks on capital gains. Unbelievable. On the 2021 City of Yonkers posted salary schedule, there is a Thomas Tiedemann noted as one of the deputy DPW commissioners, but there are two people so named. Right now, I understand that Lenny Spano is deputy DP commissioner, as is one John Baker. But it's funny because he's Thomas T. Tiedemann, and then you have Thomas G. Meyer. I don't know. But I hear Tiedemann and Thomas Meyer, two of them guys were like, I don't know. Somebody said they both run DPW. I heard this a while back. I don't know. It was crazy. I see it. Also, look at Coughlin and Gerhardt. How you say that? Gerhardt? That's the law firms from Binghamton that Paul Sweeney, the private attorney they brought in to handle my case, works for. You see that? It's all connected. The group chose Yonkers because it fulfilled three criteria. It's within an opportunity zone, close enough to New York City to avoid paying higher on-location wages to union workers, and rates as an up-and-coming area. Said Halmi. Lionsgate declined to comment. I'm sure they did. Critics of the incentives argue the incentives are more of a handout to the wealthy or mainly benefits or areas already on the upswing. The opportunity zone law doesn't require investors to promote social good with their dollars. So, yeah, I mean, folks, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. And now this is the Yonkers Industrial Development Agencies. This is how much money these projects have received in tax breaks from the city of Yonkers and the county, I guess. Payment in lieu of taxes. These are pilots. Supplementary information schedule of pilots as of December 31st. I just want to show you what that looks like. And you can, again, you can see that I'll be posting it as well on the page. These are, businesses or whatever that are receiving tax breaks, right? Schedule of indebtedness, industrial revenue bonds and notes. So these are bonds. So this is debt that was issued by the city on behalf of these, businesses, organizations, right? St. Joseph's Medical Center, another client of Nick Spano's Empire Strategic Planning. In March 1998, they got $7 million in bonds issued. And who's responsible for that if the St. Joseph's Medical Center defaults? As of 2020, they still have an outstanding balance of $800,000. They got this in 98. Another one in 2001, they still have $12 million outstanding. St. John's in 2001 of the $6 million, they still have $4 million. So you can see here, Sacred Heart Center, Family Services, Jefferson Terrace. Look, the Tasha Diaz building, $3.6 million. And these are more pilots that have been given out to these, there you go, Main Street Lofts. Again, they were some of the contributors to the Committee for Better Yonkers. So if you contribute money, you get tax breaks. RXR Sawyer, I think that's the Sawyer place also. RMS Warburton, Riverview, Rivertides, Risings, PS6 Shelter Rent, Post Street, Plant Manor, Adler. Plant Manor, Adler. What's that? Rand Realty? Is that Layla Gorin? Park Ledge Apartments, Mulford. That's when they redid Mulford. Main Street Lofts. Jefferson Terrace, Shelter Rent. Jefferson Terrace, Sacred Heart. So you see all these individuals getting all these tax breaks. I just want to read this really quick. This is from Thomas DiNapoli. You know what? I'm going to skip this. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get too crazy. But it has been declared as of 2021 that Yonkers was in significant fiscal stress, according to the state comptroller. You see that there in green and yellow? I just want to give you that. Audit reveals problems with local IDAs. Industrial development agencies in Dutchess, Greene, and Putnam counties granted questionable tax incentives and failed to enforce job creation goals, according to audits released today by State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli. This is from 2014. And I just want to show you that other areas have been looked at by the State Comptroller. But why has he not come down to Yonkers? All the development going on here, they need to look into it. The way that it's all connected and goes back to Empire Strategic Planning needs to be looked into. Again, Empire Strategic Planning is the head, and I'll be doing a chart. That head stretches out to Macy Wilson Kimball, who then goes down to the Zoning Board of Appeals. She's the chair of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Stretch that out to YIDA. James Kavanaugh, her husband, who is the president of the YIDA. Well, Nick Spano's brother is the chair of the YIDA. His sister-in-law, Jamie McGill Spano, the wife of Vincent Spano, the city clerk, is the executive director. John Rubbo sits on the chair of the real estate committee. John Rubbo, landlord, is a client of Nick Spano's Empire Strategic Planning. They also contribute to John Rubbo's campaigns, as well as others like Tasha Diaz. Do you see what I'm trying to connect here, folks? We have no chance here with these individuals. No chance. All the scams that they're pulling off, and yet and still, John Rubbo cannot pay his employees. Well, isn't AMS and these developers, isn't Nick Spano giving you enough money? How much rent are you being actually charged? But at the very least, you did get PPP loans, John. So why didn't you pay your employees? Yonkers Brewing Company here being sued by former employees for unpaid wages. They recently settled, maybe a few months ago. But why did he get sued? John Rubbo received PPP loans. His company, A Perfect Solution, John Rubbo Inc., which I mentioned here, and no one knew about, received at least $89,700. Oh, that's expense payroll estimate. I'm sorry. And so, according to documents that have you received and sources received over $300,000 in PPP loans. So why didn't he pay his employees? A perfect solution. John Rubbo Consulting Inc. in Yonkers received a paycheck protection loan of $18,700 through Bank OZK, which was approved in May 2020. Says he's got one employee that makes $89,000. A perfect solution. John Rubbo Inc. Again, $18,700. Oh, I didn't get the one. I was looking for the one for Yonkers Brewing Company. Yonkers Brewing Company received $160,000, $60-some thousand. So why didn't he pay his employees? Yonkers politics. Some know the plan employ. Others claim they heard rumors, while others deny facts, intentionally deflect. I don't know what this guy was writing here, but I saw this article, and this made me think of John Rubbo, why I wanted to do this podcast and connect the dots with the councilman of the 4th District. This article, if you want to read it, is basically trying to make Wilson Kimball look good while making John look bad. And you got to wonder, John, who was it that sent me that information about a perfect solution, John Rubbo Inc.? You had mayoral aspirations. Were they trying to keep you from becoming mayor, keep you in check? They always have to have leverage over you, John. Why do you think they introduced you to you know who? Wilson Kimball has been sworn in as the new chairwoman of the Yonkers Zoning Board of Appeals. Kimball was previously, I guess, president and CEO of Macy, Municipal Housing Authority of Yonkers. And prior to that, she served in the Yonkers Building Department and as director of the Downtown Waterfront Development, of course. Her resume of accomplishment cannot be denied. In fact, Kimball replaced Joe Cianchulia, I forgot his name, who served as the chairman of the ZBA for 53 years. 53 years. Wow. As the city's economic development continues to flourish, Wilson's expertise and experience as president of the Municipal Housing Authority will bring unlimited possibilities to better grow our community and all residents within it, said the mayor when he swore her in. Right? While her resume of accomplishments continue to evolve from her earlier days when she and James Kavanaugh captured the attention of then New York State Inspector General Joseph Fish, she had gained a breadth of knowledge and expertise that Yonkers Councilman John Rubbo cannot fathom, much less comprehend. What? I was totally confused by this article. Totally confused by this article. And how does he say, while her resume of accomplishment continued to evolve from her earlier days when she and James Kavanaugh captured the attention of then New York State Inspector General, she has gained a breadth of knowledge and expertise that Yonkers Councilman John Rubbo cannot fathom, much less comprehend. I don't understand. Kimball and Kavanaugh's earlier days were not above the illegal fray, something Rubbo has in common with them. What? The fraudulent conduct of Yonkers City Councilman John Rubbo, it says District 3, will be the next article that will be written tonight. I don't understand what's going on here. Is he being funny? I'm not sure what this article is about, but he's trying to distract you. Wilson Kimball was investigated along with her husband, James Kavanaugh, for money mismanagement, misappropriation of funds, corruption, illegally terminating individuals. Wilson had no experience. That was also another complaint in that report, that she was hired for the position with little to no experience, yet she has so much experience, huh? I would like to know who is actually on the Yonkers Board of Ethics. The city site still shows a judge who passed away. Well, they never updated, and honestly, there is no Board of Ethics. It's defunct. It's no longer around. And also, how can the husband of someone connected to a PAC as the Committee for a Better Yonkers serve on the Ethics Board? Yeah, good question. But this is Yonkers, the city of hills, where nothing is on the level. And so I am trying to connect these dots for you folks as best as I can. But as you've been seeing in the past few podcasts that I've done, All dots lead to empire strategic planning. This is all about the developments and doing what is in the best interest of the developers so that some of these elected officials can pocket big money while others get crumbs and smile as they turn their backs on the people of Yonkers. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered, connecting the dots. John Rubbo, all roads lead to Empire Strategic Planning. AMS, Empire Strategic Planning. Nick Spano, the YIDA, Mike Spano, Jamie Spano, James Kavanaugh, Wilson Kavanaugh, Laura Wilson Kimball, Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, Tasha Diaz, and John Rubbo, in my honest opinion, are in cahoots, are colluding, are corrupt, and need to exit Yonkers politics immediately. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics, folks. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you sharing. And shout out to all those who started following the page. Shout out to all those who've been following from day one. Thank you. I appreciate the support. You know, and I always take your, your advice into consideration, words and all that. You know, people often say, hey, Freddie, you should consider this or think about this. And I appreciate that. I do. The Spanos have been grooming Rubbo to be the next mayor for years. I have that directly from people inside the mayor's network. If Sussman succeeds at convincing the judiciary to overturn the term limit legislation, Rubbo will be Nick Spano's guy in the ticket. Take that to the bank. I don't think so. I'm going to have to disagree with that. Yes, Rubbo was being groomed, but Rubbo is now, he has too much. He's not the guy anymore. That's why, in fact, if they really felt that confident in John Rubbo, Mike Spano wouldn't be running again, right? He wouldn't be, trying to pull this, but they couldn't. They just didn't feel confident that John Rubbo would win. And at this point, people are confident that he won't even win a re-election in his own district at this point, based on his actions, based on what we've seen, based on all the nonsense he's talked and what he's produced. Nothing. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to go to, let's look at some of the comments real quick. I think they're funny before I get up out of here. And this is just the comments from the, Hezi, when are you going to write about the term limits fiasco? As a journalist, you should be reporting everything. I'm curious to see what you write. Also, what about the lawsuit? I see a few folks on the list that are suspicious in their intent. Wondering why Freddie V. Oh, my God. Guys, come on. I'm flattered a little bit by it, but not at all. Creeped out more. But wondering why Freddie V, Deanna Sanchez, Hector Santiago, and/or London Rays were not on the suit. I have written about it for weeks, or of late. I have had 2 other personal issues, and I'm backlogged, but I'm expecting to catch up. What? Who's writing this? Whoever's writing this has poor grammar, and it really Hezi. That can't be Hezi. He's backlogged, right? With what, Hezi? This is the most important thing happening, right? 4, 8, 12, 16 years, Phil got on Jughead John Rubbo. That's classic. Rubbo better hope he gets an appointment to a position like deputy mayor, because this is what I'm hearing now, actually, Anthony, that he will become deputy mayor if mayor wins. Like deputy mayor, because he will not survive another election. His district is fed up with him. He doesn't serve them. Instead, he spends every waking moment walking around with his nose up Mike Spano's ass and figuring out new ways to keep his failing brewery open. Well, he's hoping that all these people come in and just love some Yonkers Brewing AP or whatever it's called. Some rumored names to run against him are Tubiolo, D. Rose, Calvi, the younger ones. Either way, he will not survive a primary or general, so he will take his appointment and much-needed salary and somehow delude himself into thinking that he's actually going to be the next mayor. He truly is John the Jughead. Mexicans are teaming up for a run. Can't blame them. Hardworking people. We need them on city payrolls. Well, we need to definitely spread out the jobs. More equality. Taking over all firehouses soon. Good newspaper. Rumor is Nader is considering supporting an effort to push to move the primary schedule forward, which would benefit state incumbents seeking local county office statewide as a mechanism to give potential candidates like himself more time to collect petition signatures and raise funds for a mayoral race. Any truth, Hezi? Suggest you call Assemblyman. Nader is a Spano puppet. Save Yonkers. Vote Guile? Who's that guy? Hi, Hezi. I hope you are well. Waiting for your blockbuster piece on Rubbo. Hope you are fine-tuning it as inquiring minds need to know. Is Rubbo doing Uber Eats or shopping apps things that are that bad that at the rotten vinegar smelling brew? At least you don't have to pay for gas, insurance, maintenance on your city car you're using. See you all over the city, even on weekends. I noticed the only time you don't speed is when you got all those passengers in your little white car. And that is true because I saw them driving crazy in that little white car and they almost like crashed into another car. I don't know who he had in the car, but they were hanging out the window and trying to get the attention of another car. And I just thought it was crazy. I'm like, yo, what are these people doing? Got the city car, says Yonkers, city of Yonkers. But that's what happens when they've been entitled. They've been doing it for so long. They don't care. They do not care. Rubbo's dumb as rocks. Rubbo has always been anti-Hispanic and is nothing more than a racist. Well, he didn't pay his Latino employees, Hispanic employees, right? That's funny. John Rubbo is the worst that Yonkers has to offer. He attacked seniors. He sent the building department to a non-student house under fraudulent circumstances. He hired illegal immigrants and then failed to pay them. He held a fundraiser in an empty lot with no certificate of occupancy. He stopped shaving his legs. What? Maybe you should start paying taxes on your illegal parking lot. And I know who's that they're talking about there with the illegal parking lot. Yeah, you may think it's Carolyn, but because I mentioned seniors, but I'm not Carolyn. Many people dislike John. Yeah, so, when they mention seniors and John, everybody automatically assumes it's Carolyn, right? But who is this person saying, hey, Carolyn, Why would any average individual care about Carolyn's issue with John Rubbo to the point where they would defend John Rubbo? Unless this page is operated by, in my strong opinion, Team Jerris. Zahi Jerris, along with his New York University law student, law school student's son, Frankie Jerris. NYU, I hope you're listening. You have a student there that, in my opinion, I can prove it, that he's the administrator of some of these pages, is out here terrorizing individuals in support of his dad's campaign consulting company, Precision Strategies, in my opinion. That's the kind of lawyers you guys are training over there at New York University. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. My wife just came home, and I'm up out of here. Peace out. Teacher-parent meeting or something like that.
Freddie.
To me. And I don't vote for a person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
I want to end this quick because I'm greedy and I want some of the butter chicken. So thank you.
In another one, Mr. Rubbo lied to me. And I don't vote for a person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
Freddie wins.
I am Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. That was your episode on John Rubbo, connecting the dots. All dots lead to empire strategic planning. Our elected officials have been bought and paid for by Empire Strategic Planning, in my strong opinion, based on the dots that I've been connecting, based on the information I've been showing you. Our Yonkers City Council works for Empire Strategic Planning and represents the developers that are here in Yonkers, getting all the tax breaks, causing all the rents to go up, causing all the traffic to be built up, causing all the crowds, all the overcrowding, all the stuff that we hate about the city of Yonkers now. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Make sure you come out and vote next year. It's very important, folks. Very important. Have a beautiful and blessed night.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
I was raised in housing. I don't think you were.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez. You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
In another one, Mr. Rubbo lied to me. And I don't vote for a person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
Let's get it popping.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
No!
All right, Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Thank you for watching, folks. Please continue to send me the emails, politicwithfred@gmail.com. Also, my nonprofit organization is accepting donations. We are not accepting any cash, any money in any shape, form. We would prefer a toy of some sort, ages 3 to 12, as I will do my Santa round again. I buy a bunch of gifts myself out of my own pocket. We would appreciate any donations. Please call my office, 914-467-0597. We will schedule a pickup, and I will have Santa Claus, like we did last year, going around handing out gifts to the communities that we feel may have the children that are in the most need. And they love it. The Santa Claus, they get excited, and it's amazing. So if you have any toys, anything you'd like to donate, again, we don't want any money. We don't want no cash. We don't want no checks, nothing. We just take the toys that we can donate. Also, we're accepting socks, gloves, hats, coats. Again, we will schedule a pickup so we can give out to the homeless individuals as the weather is getting cold. So anything, folks, we will pick it up. You don't have to drop it off. But if you want to, we're located at 101 Lockwood Avenue. Push, People United for Social Honor. I'm Freddie Vasquez, this is Basement Politics. Thank you. You can reach me at politicwithfred@gmail.com or call the office, 914-467-0597. Let them know you have something to donate, and we can schedule a pickup. Have a beautiful and blessed, beautiful and blessed week, rest of the week. I almost burped there.
Freddie wins.
Hey, birthday.
Fatality.
I'm Freddie Vasquez. I'm up out of here. Thank you, folks. So if you got something, we appreciate it. The kids appreciate it. Check out for Santa Claus coming to a block near you.
Freddie wins. Fatality.